The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
ESPN Jets reporter Rich Cimini is hinting at a wild card pick being in play for the New York Jets 1 week from tonight. We'll talk about that and much more. Matt O'Leary joins us in his weekly spot. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby. We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. 1 week from the NFL draft, baby. Let's go. We are almost there. If you want to watch the draft with me and your favorite Asmaniacs and our guy Fireman Ed leading the Jet channel all night long, make sure you buy your ticket to our event at Clinton Hall, located right in Midtown, 16 West 36th Street. You can take the train in and go right to Penn Station or Grand Central, and it's within a 10, 15-minute walk from both locations. Going to be a great night for my fellow Knicks fans out there. Don't worry. I will make sure that some of the TVs have the Knicks in their Game 3 projected matchup against the Pistons that night as well. So I'll be watching both. We'll be locked into the Jets, and if you're a basketball fan, don't worry. The Knicks will be on some of the TVs as well. Make sure you lock in your ticket today before we run out. Let's say hello right now in his weekly spot on the show to one of our good friends, the great Matt O'Leary. Matt, we're almost there, baby. 7 days from right now, it will officially be draft day.
I'm excited, man. It's been a lot of lead up to this, months of talking through every scenario. And I don't know about you. I'm just ready to know what it's going to be. I'm tired of talking about it. I'm ready to find out what the Jets do in the NFL draft.
Well, we spent a lot of time talking about, the same type of players, the tackles, the tight ends. We've speculated about moving up at one point, now moving back. We basically have talked about everything, but the show must go on. So I was listening to Rich Cimini's Flight Deck podcast yesterday. Rich, of course, longtime Jets beat reporter for ESPN. And this was Cimini talking about there being rumblings of a wild card pick for the New York Jets in the first round.
So right now, Membu, the chalk pick, but you know what? It can't be this easy, right? It just can't go according to plan. No, there's always a wild card. And this year, the Jets won't trade up. I'd be shocked if they did that because this team needs to accumulate assets, not give them away. It's an older roster, thin at some spots. So I think they need to draft a lot they need a lot of rookie contracts on this roster to balance the books a little bit. But there's always a possible wild card. Perhaps a trade down. I think that's very much a possibility. But I'm just saying, Membu makes a lot of sense, but there are some rumblings out there that it could be a wild card. Now I'm talking maybe a defensive player like Shamar Stewart, the edge rusher from Texas A&M, which happens to be Aaron Glenn's alma mater. So Shamar Stewart, a name to watch. Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle from Michigan, a name to watch. Derek Harmon, defensive tackle, Oregon. I'd be surprised if they took any of those guys at 7, but if they move down a few spots, which I think they prefer to do, I'm telling you, just keep an eye on edge people like Shamar Stewart, or a big old defensive tackle, which the Jets need. Now, they did sign a few low-salary guys in free agency, but they need a big body on that D-line to put next to Quinn Williams.
Matt, your thoughts on the rumblings of a Jets wild card pick?
Yeah, those names don't really inspire me a ton for complete honesty. Now, I'm open to trading back. I did a video this morning reacting to an article that Zach Rosenblatt put out talking about different teams that might be looking to trade up. And he hinted at some other names for the Jets in a trade back scenario, like Colston Loveland or Tet McMillan or Matthew Golden. And if the Jets are moving back, which if that's their plan, fine, I'm good with that. If they want to move down the board a little bit, those guys would intrigue me more. Shamar Stewart, you might get a similar reaction than what we did a few years ago for the Will McDonald pick on the Talking Jets stream, if that's the pick this year. Nothing against him as a player, but I just think that with the Jets, specific needs that they have entering this draft, to move down and then take a guy like Shamar Stewart, who doesn't really have the production at the collegiate level to back up the pick, would be a big surprise to me.
To me, he's a second-round player. Like, he has all this physical skills, so he's going to be overdrafted, but that's why I wouldn't take him in the first round. The production does not warrant a top 7 pick. So I agree with Rich. I don't think they take him at 7. But if they move down, you can't take him at 9 and justify that, even if you got an extra pick. Like, you would have to, move almost to, out of the first round for me to be like, all right, I get it. You got a huge haul. You believe in the upside. You think some of the players you're targeting in this draft will be there for you now on day 2 when you still have, I'd imagine, your 42nd pick and probably, if you're moving that far back, probably at least another extra pick in the second round as well. That's the only way I could picture it. But Shamar Stewart would not make any sense. And look, I get it. Aaron Glenn went to Texas A&M. That doesn't mean that he's only going to draft Texas A&M players. So I just don't think it makes any sense. I mean, this guy had 4.5 career sacks in college. You would need to be the trade back would have to be so damn good that any player they picked, I'd be like, whatever. At least they got all these picks. I can't in my mind picture Shamar Stewart being a Jet.
That's what I mean. And you brought up a good point too. Are they flipping picks with the Saints, which is just 2 picks back? And then, okay, you get probably some mid-round pick for moving back, similar to what happened last year when they went from 10 to 11. But they still took their guy in the offensive lineman in Olu Fashanu to move back the 2 spots. And I don't know, I think there would be a pretty good chance that, Tyler Warren and Armand Membu would still be there potentially at pick number 9. And then to go off the board and take Shamar would be strange. But if it's the Steelers trading up for, a Shedeur Sanders and they're picking at 21, and then you move back and take, a Harmon or a Shamar or, any of the other guys they listed out, that's a little bit different because, 9 versus 21, that's a big drop off in talent. But if you're moving back that far, you better get at least a second round pick. And honestly, next year, maybe another high-end pick that gives you some more capital to get flexible to move around for a quarterback in 2026.
I think a lot of Jet fans are on board with trading back, but just because you trade back, not all trade backs are equal. So it's trade back. Like the Jets traded back last year. They moved back 1 spot. So, there's obviously a lot of nuance to that conversation. One thing Rich said there, though, that I would push back on at least a little bit. This is really not that old of a roster. Sure, if you want to count Morstead and Greg Zuerlein, fine. But who's really old on this team? They were a much older team last year. Forget just Rodgers being 40. I mean, they had an aging left tackle going into the year who now just announced his retirement. Thank you for the memories, Tyron Smith. They had an older right tackle on their offensive line in Morgan Moses. Mike Williams was a veteran receiver. Devontae Adams is over 30. He was a veteran receiver they added midway through the year. This is a way younger team right now. They've signed one free agent that is 30 years or older, and that was Reynolds. That's really it to this point. Fields is 26 years old.
Yeah, on the offensive side of the ball, Josh Reynolds and Alan Lazard are the 2 vets, essentially. Everyone else is pretty young. Even John Simpson, I think, is 28, 29 years old going into this season. This is a pretty young team. And I think maybe making the case that they need more cheap contracts, which if you're going to pay Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner, which I know we both want them to do, then okay, I could see that side of it. But you bring up a good point that, if you look at, what this team was a year ago, sure, they had a ton of veterans. They were a veteran heavy team supplemented with that young talent that they have. But now all those veterans are gone. Rodgers isn't here. Devontae's not here. Tyron Smith, Morgan Moses, Mike Williams, all those guys are gone. So I don't know if that still really applies to the 2025 Jets.
Well, the question I would have too, let's say it's not Stewart. What are the other wild card picks? I mean, quarterback is the ultimate wild card, but I don't think they're going to take a quarterback. Neither does Rich, for what it's worth, in the podcast. It would basically defy everything they have said publicly about Justin Fields. And Aaron Glenn wants to move in silence, so he's going to draft Shedeur Sanders, who, like him or hate him, or however you feel about him, He's a huge name. His last name is Sanders. Dion is one of the more high-profile athletes of the 21st century. He's in the media constantly at Colorado doing interviews and press conferences. I don't see that. I don't see Jackson Dart at 7. So, like, that to me would be the ultimate wild card if they did that. I just don't see that happening.
No, I think we're getting into the stage now where we've talked through all these different scenarios that maybe we're just getting draft fatigue, where we're like, oh, it's too obvious now. They can't just take Membu or Warren. Like, that's the cop-out easy answer. But, you know, I know you did a video yesterday on the draft odds for the number 7 pick, and runaway favorite is Armand Membu. But I think there's a reason for that. I think Membu or Warren are definitely the 2 most likely guys for the picks. And yeah, of course, anything's possible. Maybe they go off the board and take someone else, but I wouldn't bet on it, honestly.
Well, the question I would have too, right? Cimini at the beginning there is like, it can't just go according to plan. Well, why not?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, sometimes it does. You know what I mean? Like, it can't go according to plan. Well, okay, Membu might not be there. Maybe they just take Will Campbell then. They say, we're going offensive line. We're taking the best one there. Or Tyler Warren's their guy, and he's there, and they just take him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if we have to really overthink it. I think the reality is there's not a whole lot out there on what they're going to do. There could be rumblings of this or that, but who really knows? Because we're talking about a first-year coach and a first-year GM working together for the first time. There's no track record to fall back on.
No, that's the interesting part, right? Like, we don't know how Darren Muji or Aaron Glenn are going to react in their first draft. And, you know, I get it. A lot of fans want them to trade down in the first round, and I'm open to it, but I feel like they're going to want to make a statement with their first pick and get someone who really is the identity of what they're trying to build. Now, maybe there's more movement on day 2 and day 3. They have 2 5ths and 2 6ths. I'd kind of be surprised if they just stayed put at both those spots in the 5th and 6th round and didn't try to, move around the board and target some guys specifically. But, having a top 10 pick to kind of jumpstart your new regime, I think they're going to like that. So I wouldn't bet on them moving back. I know it's, anything's possible, right? But maybe I'm just naive, but I feel like it's going to be chalk next week.
Also, everyone's talking about Stewart, right? Why wouldn't you just take Jalen Walker if you're going to do that, if you're going to do the wild card scenario? Now, at 7, I'd rather Walker than certainly Stewart. I don't want Walker at 7, but at least Walker's been mocked in the top 10 before. Like, there's a lot of people a lot of people think he might just go 8 to Carolina right after the Jets. So, like, that to me would at least make more sense than Stewart, who's all projection. Walker's a guy that many think, could be really good right away.
Yeah, I like Jalen Walker. If they're going to go with that, linebacker edge hybrid, I think Walker would be the better pick than Shamar Stewart. I'll give you another one. What about Mason Graham? I feel like we talked about him, this is months ago now, and he seemed like he was the favorite for a while. But similar to Olu Fashanu a year ago, a lot of Jet fans were mad when they were beating teams like Washington at the end of the year because they're going to fall out of the Joe Alt and Olu Fashanu race. And suddenly they end up trading back on night 1 and are able to get Olu at pick 11. And he was a guy who was considering, a lot of experts had him falling a little bit in the draft last year. And someone we talked about in January ended up being the pick. So if it's going to be something different than, either Armand Membu or Tyler Warren, I would bet Mason Graham other than, some of these other guys that were listed off by Rich Cimini in his podcast.
To me, plus 650, at least that's what the odds were yesterday, on Mason Graham to the Jets at 7 is a decent bet, because if he's there, he might be the best player on their board. And if they go BPA, they could say best player on our board, and he's a position of need. We think him and Quinnen are perfect next to each other. We're going to unlock Quinnen Williams by no longer having teams be able to double team him consistently. It's going to make our entire unit better there. Like, that to me would make sense, and I guess could still be considered a wild card pick, because most people don't think Mason Graham's going to make it to 7.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I was betting, I think he's going to Jacksonville. I saw a picture yesterday of him working out in Jacksonville Jaguars gear. I don't think that's any sort of secret that they really like him. So if I was betting, he probably goes there. But if he's available, I know we've talked about Warren and Membu. I don't think you could rule out Graham. So I'm with you at the plus 650. Like, if you're looking for the value play, that might be the one over some of the other guys that were listed. But again, I think he's a distant third behind the top 2 guys.
When do you think they could look to address quarterback in this draft? A wild card pick in the first round, certainly quarterback's the ultimate one. I don't think most people at this point expect that to be the case. I would even say, though, if they took a quarterback in the second round, that to me would be a wild card pick there. I don't see it that early either.
No, if they were to do it, I'm thinking somewhere between the third and fifth round, like right smack in the middle of this draft. I think, pick 42, that's a top 50 player. I think they have to come in and contribute for your team this year. And if you're drafting a quarterback at 42, well, we know for sure he's going to be behind Justin Fields and Tyrod Taylor. So I don't think that's the route that they go. It's really going to depend on what happens on draft night, how many of these quarterbacks go in the first round, like, Jalen Milroe or Jackson Dart. Are they first round quarterbacks, or are they still sitting around at pick 42? I guess anything's possible, but I agree with you. That would surprise me. I think they're going to look to, obviously depends on what they take in the first round, but there's still so many needs at tight end and wide receiver and tackle and defensive line and safety. It would shock me if they went quarterback that early.
Oh, that would just be crazy if they did. Even like, once again, pick 42, like that's a top 42 pick in the draft. Like, that is significant. Like the draft trade charts that teams use when they're doing deals on draft day, like there's not a huge difference, to put it in perspective, from pick 42 on the chart to pick 33 at the beginning of the second round. Like they weigh those picks very heavily when you're in the top 50, and this is a top 42 pick. So I would be very surprised if they went quarterback that early as well. I do want to remind everyone, this week's raffle features a bunch of former Jet first-round picks in honor of this draft being just 1 week away. This week, we're giving away a signed Darrelle Revis photo, a signed Sauce Gardner jersey, a signed Keyshawn Johnson helmet, a signed Al Toon helmet, and a signed Kenny O'Brien jersey. More prizes in our raffle to be announced based on how many memberships we get over the next couple of days. Comments, questions, super chats for Matt O'Leary and myself to answer. Rick Kent writes in, I think Muji and Glenn are the wild card. We don't know what they will do. That's a great point, Rick. You're right.
Yeah, 100%. It's their first year in this gig, right? So we really don't know what they'll do. They are a wild card, but I think it's going to be chalk. I don't think they go too crazy in round one.
I feel like it's Warren or Membu. That's where I've been at. There could be a surprise, but I still think even if Membu's not there, okay, maybe it leans Warren or it leans Campbell. Like I still think we're talking about ultimately a triangle of three players in my mind, and that triangle is Tyler Warren and the two tackles.
Yeah, I could definitely see it. I think Membu's the better fit for the Jets at tackle, so I'm hoping New England doesn't take him at 4. I hope they take Will Campbell instead, but that's definitely an option for the Jets at 7.
Steve says, can't wait to be live at the draft party and see Rodgers signs with the Vikings. Like I've been saying for 2 years, LOL. Let's go football. I don't think that's going to happen, Steve, but I look forward to you being at the draft party.
Yes, that'd be a major surprise. I don't know.
That'd be a wild card.
That would be a wild card. We would absolutely classify that one as a wild card if you get Aaron Rodgers to the Minnesota Vikings, but that would be pretty shocking. The latest thing that I saw this week was that he's mulling over retirement even right now. So we'll see.
Michael says, don't forget to hit the like button, folks. He's right. Hit that thumbs up button. It helps our channel continue to grow. And the YouTube algorithm, Mr. Tube, we kindly ask him to show this channel and Matt's channel to more Jet fans to be a part of what we're growing here. Cody says, seeing more and more about Membu going before pick 7, which leads me believing it's more likely Warren will be the pick. The fun idea for Jet fans. So Warren would be the guy that I'm like, if I make a pick, Jake, I'll take him. I'm fine with it. I need to score points. I think he fits the offense. I think his playing style is perfect for what they're trying to do. They've done the opposite of most things I've wanted them to do this offseason. So that's why I think, because I want Warren, it's going to be Membu, but I hope it's Warren. Like, that's kind of where I'm at. And I also won't be that mad if it's Membu. I just then need to see what the pivot is on night 2. It's so important if they go tackle at 7, they come away in the second and third rounds, ideally with playmakers to help the offense.
Yeah, I was going to say, I have no issue with Armand Membu being the pick for them at number 7, but you better be right on day 2 with your tight end if that's the route that you're going to go. And I guess you could say the same thing about, offensive tackle if you take Warren on night 1. But I think the difference is, at least on the offensive line, you have Chuck Okorafor, who has started in this league before. In the tight end room, you have Jeremy Ruckert and Stone Smart. Like, none of those guys have shown you anything to believe that they're a tight end one in the NFL. So to me, I think that's a bigger need, I would argue, but there is talent in this draft at that position beyond just the first round, but you better make sure you pick the right guy on night 2 if you are going with Membu or another lineman on night 1.
Raphael says, "Hi, Jake Asman. I like your live stream." Hi, Raphael. I appreciate it. Thank you. Raphael, checking in. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. We'll take some calls with Matt as well. Rick Kent says, if Rodgers retires, the Steelers go into the season with Mason Rudolph at quarterback. I mean, I think they need to draft someone this year, and it wouldn't shock me if they took Dart, if he's there at 21, or if Sanders starts to fall, they take him at 21, or Steelers, what if they're aggressive? They're trying to move up and get a quarterback. Do they want to call the Jets? Jets go from 7 to 21. We're getting a first rounder next year to basically have at our disposal and some extra picks this year. I'm in if Pittsburgh wants to make that call.
Yeah, if I'm getting a first round pick in 2026 to move back to 21 with the Steelers, I think I do that every time. And again, you're probably looking more in like the Matthew Golden or Colston Loveland tree at that point, which I would do. Derek Harmon at 21 is okay. It's not as sexy, but I think there's still some decent options who should be available around that pick.
I really, really like the idea of the Jets moving back and still getting one of these receivers.
Yeah, it would be really nice, right? And receiver outside of Garrett Wilson scares the life out of me. I liked Ted McMillan to the Jets at 7. I just kind of stopped talking about it because it seems like the NFL maybe doesn't like him as much as I do, or some of the other NFL draft analysts, but they need wide receivers. So if they move down and are able to grab one and he could come in and be a wide receiver 2 right away, that's a major win in my book.
What I'm going to do right now, Matt, is take us down memory lane. Yesterday on his Twitter account, the great Brian Baldinger posted a video that I think should inspire this fan base. Baldy makes it clear what he would do with the number 7 pick in this year's NFL draft for the New York Jets.
Remember when the Jets could put together an offensive line, go to Foxborough in a playoff game and beat them right there in the trenches. Wayne Hunter, you got Brandon Moore, Mangold. How about Matt Slauson that year? You got DeBrick, you got Tony Richardson, and a guy like Sean Green could go put this game away. Like, you watch this, it's been this long. This is how grainy the film is. It's been this long, it seems, since they've been able to put a great offensive line together and not allow any penetration. Tony Richardson just melting safeties off the corner. Strong backs, turning the corner into the end zone. And they could protect Sanchez like this. Like, no matter what you did, you got Mangold right there. Like, look at this. Here comes the stunt. Look at this pocket. Like, it's a cradle of love right there for Sanchez to make that throw to Jericho Cotchery, who breaks a tackle and gets down in the alley. Like, 58 yards later, Jets were ready to score. Remember when the Jets used to put an offensive line together? God, it'd be nice if they could do that.
Ah, good times. I remember those days. I'm surprised the footage is not black and white, but I do remember those days.
Peak Jets fandom right there. I know we're about the same age. So, well, honestly, anyone under 60, that's probably their favorite Jets memory, the 2010 Jets going into Foxborough and winning that game. I need playoffs back for this team, man. It was too much fun watching this team in the playoffs.
That's the last playoff win the New York Jets have had. It's also the last time they were in the playoffs that season. That was the famous can't wait game. Jets go into New England after losing 45-3 in that same building weeks prior and stunned the Patriots with a 1 seed in the playoffs that year. Unreal. Oh, man. Good times. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Let's open up the Gus Buster Umbrella Hotline. 1 man, 2 mustache. He starts us off. Hello, 1 man and 2 mustache.
Hey, man. How's it going? Yeah, man. I'm excited about the draft, but I'm really excited about Knoble. I mean, I heard he what he did was I just heard that he was in the draft, decided to go back to college, out of college.
You forgot about the car wreck. That was a big part of all this.
Yeah, he had the crazy car wreck, and then he pulled the Nico Malaleva or whatever his name is. And instead of he signed with SMU, got a crazy lucrative deal to go to NIL with SMU, and totally like killed it over there. But he got outshined by Travis Hunter. But he's a two-way prospect. I mean, the guy's fucking a goat. I mean, shit, we could use him on defense and offense. I mean, he would be a hell of a fucking player for us, Knoble.
Well, let me tell you, while Knoble obviously was the talk of last year, this year, one man, two mustache, the focus is on Dixon Hall.
The 27th pick in the NFL draft, the New York Jets select Dixon Hall out of Arizona State. What am I, a mind reader?
That's the focus, man. Dixon Hall.
Knoble was so last year. I love that, though. A great callback on the Jake Asman show. But this year, Dixon Hall is the guy.
Lane is actually watching the show. How do you feel about the Jets? Matt, I'll ask you the same question. How do you feel about the Jets?
Cautiously optimistic. Like, I'm excited for the draft to see what kind of young talent they add to this roster. There's still some work to be done, but I am cautiously optimistic about the 2025 Jets. Lane?
Hell yeah. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. No one has gifted a membership yet. Reminder, when you do, you're entered in the raffle to win the following prizes so far. Signed Revis photo, signed Sauce jersey, signed Keyshawn helmet, signed Al Toon helmet, and a signed Kenny O helmet. Matt, I've been asking a lot of the guests on the show this week their favorite first-round Jets draft pick in their lifetime as a fan. Not, the pick you loved at the time, but when you look back on your history as a Jet fan, your favorite player that was a first-round pick by the Jets.
I feel like I got to go Darrelle Revis in 2007. That's one of those I remember where I was, so I'm going to date myself a little bit. It was actually one of my cousins' christenings or first communion, something like that. But I was listening on the radio in the car on the way to the party when the Jets traded up and made the pick, and I was all pumped up about getting Darrelle Revis. I thought, this guy, they were talking about his kick and punt return abilities, and granted, he wasn't a punt returner for the New York Jets, but it turned out to be a pretty damn good corner, and probably the most talented Jet that I've ever seen.
Tough to argue with that. I mean, great jamming by Mike Tannenbaum. People don't, I believe, give Tannenbaum enough credit for navigating the board, going up there, getting Revis. It's not like Revis was, a top 3 pick. Like, he was the 14th pick, I think, that year. They moved up to get him. So, awesome. I mean, one of the greats. And
then to follow it up with David Harris in the second round, talk about a bunch.
God, remember when the Jets drafted well?
I know in the 2000s, you could go through and look at a lot of drafts where the Jets get contributors in the mid rounds, like Lavernius Cole's 3rd round pick, Brad Smith, Leon Washington, 4th round picks,
Jericho Cotchery.
Yeah, Jericho Cotchery, another great example. Can we get back to that, please? And enough of the Max Mitchells and Michael Clemens who aren't really giving you anything in the 4th round. That'd be nice.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, how about our guy, Bo C? Bo knows he has come through, and he has gifted a 10 spot of channel memberships for the people that tune into this show. Give it up for Bo.
Money, 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 money.
Worth noting, I didn't check this morning because I'm sure some memberships expired, but, Matt can talk to this as well because YouTube makes you hit certain membership thresholds to be able to add new channel emojis. Our next emoji's ready to go. We just need to hit the membership threshold for it. Little Joey, Beast Breaker's beloved guinea pig, is our next channel emoji here. So we needed 23 yesterday, hopefully still around that number, and we're a lot closer now thanks to Bo. His memberships were gifted to the following people here. Monkey Man Stan, Mr. O Kamaski 3, EK Lambert, Lucky Luke, Mark Pioli, Barney Miller, Carlos Piscoria, and JJ Vittori, all receiving channel memberships. Good follow-up question off of what you were just talking there, Matt, with some of these drafts. Your favorite Jets draft class since you've been a fan of the team?
By far 2006. And 2022 was a lot of fun, and that's a lot more recent, but I was looking at that draft class recently, and you get DeBrickashaw, Ferguson, and Nick Mangold in the 1st round. You add those contributors like I was talking about, Brad Smith, Leon Washington, Eric Smith, another guy who was a role player on this team for a long time. So to me, I think that really built the foundation of those 2009 and 2010 Jet teams. So I am praying that we see something similar this year, and the Jets have a 2006-like draft class.
And that 2006 draft was one of the biggest reasons, that and really good coaching by Mangini in year one, that the Jets were a 4-win team in 05. Then they have a first-year coach, and they turned it around immediately, 10-6. They make the playoffs. Chad Pennington, friend of the show, comeback player of the year that season, staying healthy with the Jets.
Yeah, he was good that year. Nice bounce back season for him. And yeah, I mean, you just pulled it up right there. A lot of guys who were contributors on day 2 and day 3. Drew Coleman, he even hung around for a while with the Jets too. So would be nice if they got some contributors in rounds 3, 4, and 6 this year.
They got so many good players here, man. I mean, obviously DeBrick and Mangold speak for itself, but you got just guys contributing up and down here. I mean, it's an outstanding draft class. I know people remember Eric Smith for the bad route he took on the Tim Tebow run on Thursday Night Football and Victor Cruz play, but he was a solid contributor for a while. Special teams, that was a good pick to get in the 3rd round.
Yeah, absolutely. And he started for them for, a while too, and was on a lot of really quality teams. And there were some low moments, and he was probably done or close to being done by that point, right, in 2011. But again, it was a big part of 2 really good Jets teams in 2009 and 2010. So
comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. This one is from Eric, who wants to know, how does Matt feel about Beast Breaker's draft plan? So his plan is for the Jets to get the following 3 players. You tell me your thoughts. Tyler Warren, Armand Membu, and Mason Graham.
I like that. How my question would be, how are they going to acquire the picks necessary to do that?
That was a question I asked, and it was unclear what the answer was.
Okay. Fair. I mean, look, hey, all good ideas start with just the idea itself. The execution part, he might need a little bit of help, but maybe we'll be able to help him out with that.
Well said. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls. Kyle Clifton joins us now. Hello, Kyle.
As getting those picks is going to be a problem. We have 11 billion put aside, according to the Beast.
Yes, that is a good point as well.
So, just so I'm clear, Jake, when is the raffle this week?
It's probably going to be Monday, and then I'm going to have something special specifically for just draft week because I'm doing like 6-hour shows Saturday and Sunday, or Friday and Friday. Yeah, it always confuses me. It's Thursday, Friday. So Friday and Saturday, I'm doing super long shows. So raffle will probably be Monday.
Right, because I went to go donate some memberships, and then I realized the kids took their iPads with them to the sitter, so I can't even do it. So, yeah, I was thinking the same thing you were about Cimini and like the age of the roster. Like, is he talking about the specialists or the backup quarterback? We really must be into the dregs now with only a week to go before the draft. If we're reaching for that talking point that this roster is old.
Well, he said they got to like balance every team is trying to find really good players on rookie deals. That's every year. Like the Jets obviously have some guys of their own that they're going to extend, and they'll have to deal with that. But it's not like they're absorbing most of the dead cap. They're dealing with post Rodgers era this year, and they'll have a little bit next year. But like. That to me, there's a lot of things we could be worried about with the Jets. The age of the roster is not really a concern.
Especially since we've moved on from Devontae and Rodgers and some of these other players. And Zerline, I was looking, it looks like post June 1, that's probably what they're waiting for if they're moving past him.
Yep.
The key thing I was just trying to figure out is if we're going to go back, who are we going back with? And it's probably going to come down to if the running back is there, or if someone wants to come up and just make sure they secure the quarterback, right? Because if Membu's there, we might just take him. And if Tyler Warren is there, we might just take him. So I was thinking about the Bears. Maybe would they be someone who might be willing to come up just a few spots, and the cost might be not as much as it might be in other years to get from 10 to 7. Maybe we get a pick next year and a pick this year, and then maybe we still get Warren. That might be a team that we would look at, and that'll make me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. If we can get extra picks and still get our guy, like you were saying before. And the whole thing with this draft is all the receivers seem like they're in the 2nd and 3rd round in this draft. So let's just get the tight end. We need a weapon. To me, it's the top need on the team. Just looking at the tight end room in combination with the wide receiver room. Thanks, guys.
Kyle, appreciate it. Matt, if they took Warren, your thoughts would be?
I'd be thrilled. That's my preference, honestly, in the first round. I'd be very happy with Membu, too. I don't want to make it like I'd be upset on draft night if they ended up going on the offensive line. I think that would be a silly reaction with how, right tackle is really a need. But Warren, I just think perfectly exemplifies what Aaron Glenn is trying to do here, playing with the physicality and the nastiness in his game. To me, it just makes too much sense. So I would love Tyler Warren if that was the pick.
Comments, questions, super chats cut the line. Bo cuts the line with this. Any concerns about JJ possibly losing his step off the injury? And do you think Wilkes will be looking to stack the box or start off more conservatively? I don't think Jermaine Johnson's going to be elite immediately. I think it will take some time, like it does for most players coming off that injury. But I do think he's still going to be a damn good football player for the Jets again. And I think his work ethic and his leadership, I'm not really concerned about that. I think he'll be ready to go when he's fully back up to speed. As far as Wilkes, I think they're going to blitz a heck of a lot more. They're going to have a lot more man coverage. I think it's part of the reason why they signed Stevens. They want to do a lot of press coverage and give Sauce a chance to play way more man, where he's graded out as one of the best in the league at that. So, yeah, I think there's going to be a lot more blitzing than we're accustomed to seeing under Robert Saleh the last 4 years.
I agree. They're going to be much more aggressive, I think, on the defense this year. It was their system under Saleh was, we're going to rush 4 and our cover corners are so good we're going to get home. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we see more blitzes from Jamie Sherwood and Quincy Williams at linebacker. And as far as JJ goes, I would say temper your expectations at the beginning of the year, but I think he hits his stride in the second half of the season.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Thomas with a super chat. Tannenbaum was also the demise of Rex Cotchery for Mason Braylon for Plaxico, letting Wayne Hunter start, Matt Slauson, etc. No one's saying he's perfect, but I do think the perception of Tannenbaum by some is really out of whack. Find me a Jets GM that actually finished their tenure with a winning record, went to the playoffs several times, hired 2 coaches that took the team to the playoffs. Was he perfect? Obviously not. That's why he got fired. But this idea that he was a bad GM, he wasn't perfect, but he made some really good moves, including some of his trades. We already talked about trading up for Revis, but the trades for veteran guys like Santonio Holmes or Antonio Cromartie and Braylon Edwards, those moves are why the Jets, who already had a decent core in the Mangini era, were able to then take that next step with Rex and go to back-to-back championship games.
Yeah, I'm with you. There were definitely mistakes, and towards the end, I don't think it was good. I think when Rex got involved with the roster is when things really started to get out of whack for this team. And, we, for some reason on Talking Jets, spent 10 minutes talking about Derek Mason this week and being upset that they moved on from Jericho Cotchery and brought in Derek Mason. I don't think that was a wise choice. And there were some other questionable decisions the later this went on, but I definitely think Tannenbaum did more good than bad. And I mean, you said it, they made the playoffs in 2006, 9, 10. They were 500 or better in 2008 and 2011. The Jets haven't been able to get back to that since he's been here, essentially.
And if Favre didn't get hurt, they make the playoffs, and they were maybe the best team in the AFC that year in 2008.
Exactly. So he had some pretty good rosters. I know it didn't end well, but I'm choosing to remember the beginning and how well it started for him.
I mean, he had a winning record, folks. People laud Joe Douglas. The guy was 30-64. It would have been worse if they didn't fire him when they did.
Yeah, no, exactly. So I don't understand the history. Maybe it's just too much time has passed and people remember it differently now. I don't know.
Peter Castro, the OG in the house. He has gifted not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 channel memberships.
Weed, this is for you. Oh, shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Castro's 5 memberships went to Rookie JJ2, Beastbreaker Eats Little Joey 4, Anthony's Alley, John O'Reilly, Jet Fan for Life, and Chico Andretti. They all received channel memberships there from the Peter Castro. Ladies and gentlemen, to more of your calls we go as we continue our show here with Matt O'Leary. Let's say hello on the Gusbuster hotline to Adam, who's next. Hello, Adam.
Hey, good morning. Hey, Matt, how's it going? Big fan.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
So last night I had this really interesting thought. about the tight end position. And I know Arroyo is kind of a high risk, high reward with his availability. And then it reminded me of when the Patriots picked up Gronk and Aaron Hernandez in the same draft. And I was thinking, what if we did that for Warren and Arroyo? And what would that make our offense look like with the 2 tight end set?
That's interesting. I would be surprised if they went tight end back to back that early. I think if maybe they wanted to take another tight end like later on day 3, who's more of a blocking tight end, I could see that if they double dip. But it's an interesting thought, right? Because, you could use the 2 tight end sets and it might not matter as much if your wide receiver core is a little bit weaker if you have 2 guys who can catch the football at tight end.
Yeah, I was thinking Arroyo as a 3rd round, not a 2nd round. If he can make it that far, that would hedge the risk of Arroyo, and you still have your blue chipper and Tyler Warren. You have 2 potential awesome weapons that are big. You have the speedsters already with Fields and Corley, who I still think has a lot of upside, and we still have Gibson. So I feel like there's a nice sort of size differential and lots of different options there. If we decide to double dip on tight end, and then I was thinking, well, who do we have still on our tight end roster? We have Ruckert. Am I forgetting anyone else? Is there any?
Stone Smart.
Oh, Stone Smart. Okay, so there's still room for 2 slots. So I'm reading the tea leaves. I think they might get 2 tight ends in this draft, and that would actually be quite interesting.
It's a good draft to double up. Now you'd have to do it like early and then late. I don't think you
Yeah,
do it like the Mike McCagnon tight end in round 1, tight end round 2, like like what he did with Jamal and Marcus May. I don't think that's coming, but I do think if you're going to double up on certain positions, tight end makes sense. Receiver makes sense. Defensive, probably not defensive tackle, but tight end, wide receiver, certainly offensive line. That'd be really good spots to double up.
Yeah, or even if you did Membu at 7, and you do Fannin and Arroyo back to back sounds crazy, but like a 2 and a 3 or a 1 and a 3, but not a 1 and a 2. That's kind of my thinking. And then I think that solves the weapons issue and the tight end issue all in one, and trust a little bit more in the growth of our wide receivers that are young and hungry.
I hope they're good.
Cool. Thanks, everybody.
Adam, thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Matt, if the Jets were to double up at a position, what would be your ideal position?
I think receiver would be just because I think it's such a big hole outside of Garrett Wilson. If they were to take one in like the 2nd round and the 4th rounds, or 2nd and 5th, something like that, to try to find, your depth there, a wide receiver 2, 3, 4 in that range, that would be the one that I think makes the most sense for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have not 1, but 2 gifted memberships from Darth Crypto. He is in the raffle twice by doing exactly that. Give it up to our guy, Darth Crypto.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
James Fitzpatrick and Paul in Florida, the 2 new channel members, courtesy of Darth. More of your calls right now. Joining us right now on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is someone that this chat respects, someone that this chat loves, and I would say from time to time, someone that this chat even fears.
Hi, how are you? Bruce Hall. That's good. Oh, hello, Matt O'Leary. Hello, Jake Asman.
Hello, Lane Train.
So I was thinking about the draft. I heard that the last caller talked about Knoble. Did he go back to college?
That was the first I heard of it. I thought he was done playing football after what happened with his wife and the car accident and all that.
You know when I all started that last year?
You were the first to put us on to Knoble.
1 year since it started. All right, so anyway, you take a number 2 draft. So if you don't get Taylor Warren, you go after Mason Graham because all the other teams want him.
Who would you take?
How do you feel, Matt O'Leary, about Mason Graham?
I like Mason Graham. That's one of the guys that I was talking about
Who
first.
would I take? Oh, who would I take? I would have to take Taylor Warren in the 7th round.
Is Taylor related to Tyler?
Yeah, Tyler Warren. Yeah, they're both. So, what is it today? Today is the 17th. That means the draft starts on the 24th, and then the 26th. So it's like a lot of rounds for each team.
Yeah, 7.
Be a lot of. But I hear that you could then like you could trade though in the draft.
You can. You could trade picks.
Yeah, and then anyway, let's talk more about the draft. So anyway, I mean, I don't know who the Giants draft, honestly, because
Hey, Lane.
they need a lot of help.
You
Yeah,
should come to the draft party and watch the draft with all of us.
I can't. I can't make it. I know that Bobby and his brother's gonna be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because I hear that they're gonna get Mikey a lot of his root beer to drink so he doesn't get drunk.
Yeah, we
during it.
can't let Bobby Midnight drink too much.
Uh-oh.
Charles Gorman's going to be there too, Lane. We're going to have 3 of the 4 1 seeds in the same
Yeah,
spot
I know.
besides
I'm
you.
not gonna. You know what? I'll probably watch it on TV though.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think it's on ESPN.
Yep.
So, and then there's a lot of seniors in college that are looking to be picked up by a team. But you know what? I don't get. Why does every jersey has number 1 on it? I don't get it. Why can't they have other numbers?
I like that.
It's a great point. Their favorite number, every draft pick ever, Lane. Apparently, their favorite number is number 1.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to Manhattan today, so I have to go to a dentist. And I mean, it'd be funny if I saw Nate on his bicycle riding do 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 do. Oh, hi, Wayne. It'd be funny.
Wait, do your Nate impression again.
I never see his face though. Okay, all right.
Do 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 do.
Oh, hi, Nate.
Oh, hi, Lane.
Are you going somewhere now? I see you. Are you going up?
I'm going to your dentist's office. No, I'm going to your dentist's office right now. I'll see you there. I'll be do all the way.
Or is that?
I'm on 81st, but we're heading downtown. We're kind of upper Manhattan. We're on the upper west. Do.
I'm a fake Nate.
Oh, look at this red light. Should we stop, Lane? Do. No, wrong answer. Do. So you like Taylor Warren?
Yeah, I think that you go after Taylor Warren in the draft.
Hi. Sorry, everybody. See you next call when we talk about sports again.
Folks, that is all completely unplanned. Nate happened to be on hold. I had no idea Lane was going to mention him. Oh, that was awesome.
That was so good. I didn't realize we'd get Nate on the bike too, right off that. That was great.
I had no intention of Nate being there. He happened to have called in like a minute or two before Lane called in. Oh, perfect. Unreal. Lane, great call as always, man. You are the Lane train. Big fella checks in with a 13-month Asmaniac super chat. Reminder, when you're a channel member, every month you get a free super chat, one of your perks of being a channel member. Why are we talking double up when we're bashing McCagnon for taking 2 safeties? No double up, please. The context is important, big fella. We're not saying do it in round 1 and round 2. We're saying if you took a tight end at 1 in Tyler Warren, I don't think that means in the 6th round you couldn't tap into this elite tight end class and take a chance on a different player. Like, we're just saying the Jets have several positions of need, tight end being one of them. But like, to me, there's no shame in if you took Membu at, say, pick number 7, then you took a guard or a guard/tackle type on day 3 somewhere. Like, that's what we're talking about in regards to doubling up.
Yeah, Jamal Adams was the 6th pick and Marcus May was the 39th pick. So it's not, 2 people in the top 40 at the same position. It's, like you mentioned with tight end, one in the 1st round, one in the 5th, or wide receiver, a 2nd rounder and a 5th rounder. Little different.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Fire Aaron Glenn. Can we draft a new head coach? No, fire Aaron Glenn. You're stuck with Aaron Glenn.
That's tough. Poor guy hasn't even coached the game yet, and he's already being moved out of here. Tough.
Fire Aaron Glenn. Man has never coached the game. He's a Jet. You got to at least give him, even if you didn't want him, because like my big thing was it wasn't anti-Aaron Glenn. It's like I'm very nervous about a first-time head coach, but I'm rooting for him. Got to give him a chance.
And that's fair, right? Like if your take was I don't want another first-time head coach, fair, totally fair. But I think you got to give him a chance once he was actually hired.
Ladies and gentlemen, this guy yesterday caused a firestorm on the show. He told a story about how he basically murdered 2 beautiful guinea pigs and Beast Breaker broke down in tears hearing the story in real time. Let's see if Neil will apologize for what he did.
Apologize.
Beast was very upset.
Listen, I didn't kill anything. You know, I try to keep the guinea pigs alive. It was just
You drowned them.
I didn't drown them. They drowned on their own. They should have swam better. What do you want from me?
Oh no!
I mean, come on. Look, Matt. You know, the cage they were in had a bucket, like, you know, it was like this high, and then there was the cage, so they were protected, but there was no holes in the cage. You know, the water came in, if you could imagine. The rainwater came in, and they kind of like couldn't. Yeah, it was unfortunate, and I had to hide it from the kids, so I had to do a burial, and I swung the hefty bag, and it caught on a wire like a pair of sneakers, and it was a pretty funny thought when it happened, but it is what it is. I had it, you know, Jake, this would have been a classic. My little Duke, my little Yorkie, you know, they tear up, they love squeaky toys, okay? If I give my dog a squeaky toy, he rips it. He sits there and tears at the squeaky toy until he opens it and gets the squeaky part out of it. That's how ferocious a Yorkie is when something squeaks. Now, he had a toy. I can't find it. It looks just like a guinea pig. It's a long toy. That's his favorite toy to rip up.
Oh,
right?
no. Beast is not going to like that.
I couldn't find the toy. I'm looking all over the place for it. But Michelle's like, what are you looking for? I'm looking for Duke's squeaky toy. It looks like the guinea pig. I was going to go on the show with the squeaky pig like this and squeeze it, throw it on the ground, let Dookie rip it apart. It would have inflamed the beast. But Jake, come on, I would have been hysterical. But anyway. Oh, no.
Here we go.
I'm at breakfast right now. I'm in the suburbs right now. Yeah, I'm having breakfast right now.
Beast, tell me you forgive me already.
I'm having breakfast right now, and also I'm getting my little bit of breakfast. Just wait right now. I'm waiting for my steak. I'm waiting for my eggs. I'm waiting for my hash browns and my toast to come. But I'll tell
Where are you?
Breakfast,
breakfast is on me, Beast. Where are you? Where is it? Breakfast is on me today.
Okay. I'm all the way in Oak Lawn right now. I'm having breakfast right now.
All right, good.
I'm having breakfast. I'm having
now,
breakfast.
forget some gabagool. If you really want some gabagool, you gotta come get the gabagool. Catch you later.
Beast, call back later when you get better internet at home.
Okay, listen, I have a very big thing. I have an announcement to make. No more Shedeur Sanders. That's out. Okay.
What do you mean no more Shedeur Sanders?
I don't
Yesterday,
want
we
him
got to
now.
take him
I
at
don't
7.
want him. I'm done with
He's going to be great. We need him.
No. I did not say. Stop putting words in my mouth.
That's what you said. You wanted him. You wanted him at 7 yesterday, 24 hours ago.
I said if he's sitting there at 7, you got to think about it. But I'm doing a little homework now. I'm not a homework guy, but I did a little homework now because I'm not a draft guy. I told everybody that. That's not my forte. However, okay, I listen to the smart people, not the jackasses who come on these shows talking about their draft knowledge, which Dom C, I'll give a little credit. The guy Colin, what's his name? The guy from the Jets with this nice hair. What's his name? Connor Rogers. All right, he knows just a little bit about the draft, okay? I go by coaches. Chucky Gruden. That's who I want to evaluate quarterbacks. Wouldn't you say that's a good evaluator of quarterbacks? Even though he liked Zach Wilson one. He did like Zach Wilson.
Gruden loves every quarterback that does his quarterback camp thing.
Let me tell you something. He did one with Will Howard.
I watched it. It was excellent.
Dude, he gets me pumped up. Will Howard has got the same measurables as Josh Allen, same arm. He's a winner. He could run inside the 5-yard line. He could take off and score touchdowns. He says he's going to be the best quarterback in the draft. Excuse me. He is a guy we could get in what, the third round, maybe even day 3, right?
Yes.
Oh, what the fuck? What the hell? Let's take a shot with this guy. Let's go.
Well,
I'm
you're gonna
ready for him.
Neil, you're gonna watch the Kyle McCord one he did and probably want him the next day. So like you just like whoever does Gruden's quarterback camp.
All right, but listen, we have to stop with the other guys. We need to get a quarterback.
You were on Shador Sanders yesterday.
I said we got to get a quarterback. We need a franchise
and when I was giving you
quarterback.
reasons why I wouldn't take him at 7, you're like, but Jake, this, that, and I'm just like, it doesn't make sense to do. You can't force it.
Let me tell you something. Tiki Barber and Evan Roberts, they were having a huge discussion that Tiki Barber wants the Giants to take him at 2. What is it, Giants pick 2 or 3?
3.
They want him to take Shador Sanders. Tiki Barber thinks he's going to be a Pro Bowler and take him to a Super Bowl. Okay, so I'm not that dumb.
You're not dumb for taking him at 7. I never criticized you for that take. If the Jets believe he's going to be great, they'll take him at 7. They better be right. That's all I've said. But
I agree. You can't take him at 7. You can't.
I'm criticizing you for yesterday saying you got to take him at 7.
Oh,
and
no,
now you watch a YouTube video. That's you doing your homework, and you love Will Howard now.
No, Jake, I am flexible, okay? I'm flexible. I'm not trying to say I'm not like a guy that's going to go like Gary with freaking bobblehead with the, what's his name, that he thought was the end of the earth and the sun. I'm not like that, okay? I'm open. Like I said, I'm not professing to know my shit. When it comes to the draft, I don't know shit. But I will say this. We need to get and pick at least a quarterback in this draft. We need to. We need to take a shot with a quarterback. Tyler Shook, maybe this guy, somebody in day 2 or day 3 that we need to bring on to the team. And we need to take a quarterback in case that Fields shits the bed, or to bring somebody in, it's going to add some spark to us if we really end up stinking. And we have somebody that we could at least say, oh, wow, he looks great. And
Neil,
this guy, Will Howard, is not going to be bad.
Breaking news. You ready?
What's that?
First off, I hope the Italian meal with you, Rob, and Snowball yesterday was tremendous. All right. Looks great. You look like you're miserable, but I know it's just a bad angle. Looks like you had a great time.
Look at that picture of me. I look like shit. Who took that picture?
The second important note here is, according to Big Fella, your bounty has been set and paid, and this is for Little Joey.
Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the Sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give him another 24 hours to think about it.
That's it for Neil. Big fella taking matters into his own hands, taking a stand for Little Joey, Beastbreaker's beloved furry beast.
I didn't know that Beastbreaker had a soft side for animals. This is a new development for me.
Oh, the ultimate soft side. He got very emotional on the show yesterday. It was stunning.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go back and watch.
Yeah, go listen to Neil tell this story and just watch life leave Beastbreaker's body. His soul escape his body in real time during that story.
Poor beast.
It's tough. Big fella, you're in the raffle for 10, by the way, with this. All right, Matt. Hopefully we can do this Thursday morning next week, the day of the draft. But right now, gun to your head, 1 week out, the Jets take who in the first round?
I think it's going to be Armand Membu as the pick at pick number 7. I think the Jets like him the best. I think they want to fill out their offensive line. He's the chalk pick, but I am riding chalk. I think Armand Membu is there at pick number 7, and the Jets snatch him up and finish the offensive line.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is the great Matt O'Leary. Matt, you're the man. Appreciate you as always, and make sure everyone checks out Matt's channel. I'll be joining Matt on Monday to talk a little Jets football ahead of the draft, so looking forward to that.
Absolutely. It's going to be a blast, so make sure to tune in on Monday for Jake and I breaking it all down. Appreciate it, Jake.
Matt O'Leary checking in, one of the greats. How about this meal yesterday, by the way? How much food was ordered? How much food was consumed? That's the question. Michael says, sounds like I need to rewatch the show yesterday. Yeah, you do. It was an emotional one. That's how I would describe it. It really was. A lot of emotion, But ultimately, we all came together at the end. And the little Joey channel emoji, or as the late great Keith Best would say, the little Joey Edgemo, will soon be added. The bill was $250 plus. Neil, did you pick this one up again too? Who reached for their wallet? Did Rob give you a fake? But he really wasn't going to pull out any cash? Unbelievable. I love when Peter Castro makes fun of Neil's takes. I think that's so funny. Anyway, I got some exciting news to share with all of you. So yesterday we played a song on the show called Forbidden Furry Love that Daz Acoustic sent in. It was basically a early 2000s pop punk theme type of song. Well, what I have right here is what I think we could define as greatness personified. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you now the debut of a new hit that will truly pay homage to Beastbreaker and his pet guinea pig, Little Joey. Folks, enjoy the debut of the song Up in the Attic.
Up in the attic where the beams creak low, Beastbreaker's heart is a steady glow. Little Joey perched up high with pride, taking a spin on a piggyback ride. Beastbreaker laughs, his joy ain't small, loves his pizza, loves gabagool, all in all. Little Joey squeaking, they roam so wide, living the dream on a piggyback ride. The floorboards groan beneath his feet, but it's pure love that can't be beat. Little Joey's fur glows in the dim attic light, holding on tight through the moonlit night. Beastbreaker laughs, his joy ain't small, loves his pizza, loves gabagool, all in all. Little Joey squeaking, they roam so wide, living the dream on a piggyback ride. The floorboards groan beneath his feet, but it's pure love that can't be beat. Little Joey's fur glows in the dim attic light, holding on tight through the moonlit night. Beastbreaker laughs, his joy ain't small, loves his pizza, loves gabagool, all in all. Little Joey squeaking, they roam so wide, living the dream on a piggyback ride. Up where the world don't seem to judge, just a man and his pig in their attic refuge. Through pizza crumbs and shadows that dance, it's a fun of love, an attic romance. So if you hear laughter up above, it's Beastbreaker basking in simple love. With little Joey riding in the night, their guide, there ain't no shame in their joy-filled stride. Up in the attic where the beams creak low, Beastbreaker's heart is a steady glow. Little Joey perched up high with pride, taking a spin on a piggyback ride. Beastbreaker laughs, his joy ain't small, loves his pizza, loves gabagool, all in all. Little Joey squeaking, they roam so wide, living the dream on a piggyback ride. The floorboards groan beneath his feet, but it's pure love that can't be beat. Little Joey's fur glows in the dim attic light, holding on tight through the moonlit night. Beastbreaker laughs, his joy ain't small, loves his pizza, loves gabagool, all in all. Little Joey squeaking, they roam so wide, living the dream on a piggyback ride. The floorboards groan beneath his feet, but it's pure love that can't be beat. Little Joey's fur glows in the dim attic light, holding on tight through the moonlit night. Beastbreaker laughs, his joy ain't small, loves his pizza, loves gabagool, all in all. Little Joey squeaking, they roam so wide, living the dream on a piggyback ride. wonderful world, the world don't seem to judge. Just a man and his pig in their attic refuge. Through pizza crumbs and shadows that dance, it's a fun of love, fanatic romance. So if you hear laughter up above, it's Beastbreaker basking in simple love. With little Joey riding in the night their guide, there ain't no shame in their joy-filled stride.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I could figure out how to do this, you're going to be blown away. You're going to be wowed. Hold on. I have a very special guest here. That's why I needed to play the song on loop twice, because we're going to do something magical here. Hold on.
Hey, watch it!
Whoa! No one can even see you, Nate. I don't know how to do this from my phone. Nate is here.
They can't see you.
No, because the image is small. But what I'm doing right now on a very small screen is a ceremonial
$22.74.
giveaway
8
of
raffles.
the Super Bowl III.
She really thought we were about to fight.
I don't even know if people can see us. The screen is so tiny on my phone, and I can't even get us full screen. Hold on. Default camera, style. I hate StreamYard. You're the worst app ever.
What's going on here?
Comments, recordings. Default. I don't know.
Wait, down there.
Yeah, there's nothing. Okay, around the corners. I don't even know how to do this. Let's see. Presets. You
big?
No, that just made.
You're still small.
I don't know. Whatever. Here we go.
Jake's bigger in person, I promise.
There's
Not
a
this little.
There's a box here. Super Bowl III. Joe Namath signed helmet.
$22.74. 8 raffle tickets. Don't get scammed on 5 gifted subs. $22.74 gets you 8 raffled and a Joe Namath. Jake, thank you very much.
And you probably saved me money on shipping. Nate, parentheses Nate. There he is. All right. That was the surprise. Now I'm going to walk back and finish the show. There we go. It's all happening, folks. Let's see. Oh, can I even see them? I don't know if I can. I also don't know how to make this full screen. Let's see. Nope, I have no idea. No clue. Don't worry. We're almost back to the studios where it all happens. Dun dun dun. Dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. And we're back. Stand by. Dun dun dun. And, whoa, hold on. What an image. We're back. That did not go as smoothly as I thought it would. And now the screen is blue here. StreamYard, you are the worst app ever. You should be tarred and feathered. Anyway, let's see. Are we back? There we go. Now we got our normal setup. All right. Fortunately, you couldn't see the full screen. But you did get a little Nate, parentheses Nate. Some super chats here now. Thomas says, Neil, don't take a quarterback just to take one. Why are we listening to Tiki Barber? You just said you don't listen to these guys. Yeah, everything Neil said in that call was a complete contradiction. Dylan with a super chat. Day 2 draft vibes will be immaculate. Dylan's going to be joining us for day 2, night 2 of our draft stream. So I'm looking forward to that. J-Quest says the song is 3 minutes too long. Well, the song is only actually like 2 minutes, and I edited it down because it was even longer. It's hard to cut it off at just like a minute, though. There's so much in it. But I played twice because I needed enough time to get down to the floor of my building to give Nate the gift. B-Show, how was the Yankee game yesterday? Great, they won. I mean, it was sick. For an April game, that was awesome. The Judge home run in the 7th to break the game from being tied to Yankees by 1, and then the Bellinger catch to save it from going to extras. Incredible. Jay says Riverside replaces StreamYard. Riverside sucks, Jay. So no. It's almost as bad as StreamYard. Riverside is not good for video. It's just not. JJ says you want a remix on that Beast Breaker country track. I do. Give it to us. All right, more of your calls right now. Australian Jet fan, are you even there? You just like I see you're there. Put your camera on. I'll come to you. But let's check in with Nate right now. Nate, how's the ride with the helmet? You got it okay?
Jake, thank you very much. Not only did you give me the box, but I put it in my little back basket. So now it's like a little backrest for me as I have to go all the way down to like Broome Street. So, but yeah, unfortunately, that didn't go as well as you probably thought in your head. My initial thought was I wish we experimented on Nick Shine's show, so we got all the kinks out there. So I love ruining his show. I hate it. I hate to do that to your show. So next time we're doing an experimental mobile streams, or you going downstairs, we'll do it on Nick's show first and get the kinks out, so to speak.
Yeah, it was just the StreamYard app is impossible to use, and I had no idea how to go full screen it. Otherwise, it would have been fine.
There were so many tabs there. Yeah, that was wild. Everything looked like you could have gone full screen, but it was just like you in a different profile, you in a different shape, you in a hexagon, you in an octagon.
You see what I deal with every day. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, especially the mobile. I hope the desktop version's a little bit better. Mobile was absolutely brutal. But yeah, I'm stoked for my prize. And anyone knows me in chat, like I don't gift or super chat a lot. I was literally just trolling you that day because you were making five gifted 7s and 10 12s, and my head was hurting. So I was like, all right, let me do 2274 and gift a random number. So I was really just fucking with you, and it worked out in my favor. So I appreciate that. And anybody who knows me too, like, I'm the most passionate Jets fan. I haven't missed a snap in 56 years. So having the Joe Namath and me growing up with him, it means a lot more to someone like me, obviously.
Yes, you watched every snap of Namath's career, obviously.
Of course. I'm gonna make this right. So you said Friday you're not doing a draft party in the city, you're doing a draft show?
I'm just doing a live show, yep.
Oh, okay, bring it on. All right. Well, if you need any food, I'll do a delivery for you. If you do it another 6 or 8 hours, I'll offer my services to you.
I appreciate it.
On the bike note, so I talked to a couple Asmaniacs, and anyone who's going to be there, I could get like 2 or 3 guest passes on my City Bike account. But anyone who wants to download the app, after round 1, we're doing an Asmaniac bike gang up Broadway and then into Central Park. So post round 1, after we draft whoever, I really don't want to talk about the draft anymore. We're going bike gang, probably right through here, through Times Square, and then we'll hit Central Park where we can spread out and take over a little bit. So if you're in for the bike after round 1, make sure you download the City Bike app, get everything situated so you can just scan and go. Jake, you're obviously also invited since you've told me you've lived here for years and you are still a virgin on the City Bike, which is unacceptable. We gotta get you on one. Absolutely got to get you on one. But yeah, draft talk there's enough. You're definitely spot on with the tournament. You got to do something else because I'm so drafted out. I guess I didn't consume as much Jake Asman talk, but if I hear Tyler Warren or Membu, like I hear those names when I sleep, it's terrible. And we're not going to know even when we do draft them. We're always going to know if it's good or bad. It's just we'll definitely fix the calendar next year so we're not all wasting our breath and repeating ourselves over, I want a tight end in the first and I'm tackling the first one. I already did it in Madden 6 times. So yeah, I'm kind of drafted out. I definitely can't wait till Thursday, but I'm sure you can't wait even more till Thursday to finally have some content and something to talk about other than Beast Breaker and his dead hamsters.
Yep, Nate, great call, man. Enjoy what looks like a very nice day in New York City right now.
Yeah, it's pretty nice out. 50. It's a good day for baseball. And the Mets game later.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nate, parentheses, Nate checking in on the bike. Love it. Good to give Nate his helmet in person. Yeah, next year, for those who missed it yesterday, I think we extend Asmaniac Madness, where we started a little later. So it coincides with ending the week of the draft. Because then we'll still be on the high of the tournament for a couple of days right into the draft party next year. And next year could be a way crazier draft for us as Jet fans, right? If it doesn't work out with Fields, or even if it does to some extent, there's still a path where they could go quarterback pretty early in the first round next year, right? And if that happens, that's going to be, look at it now, like, unless they have the first pick and it's so obvious, like Cam Ward's going 1 now, I feel like we're going to have a real debate. There'll be a bunch of rumors. Remember how crazy it was, the Darnold year. Like the day up, we didn't know who was going 1. It was like, Baker's going 1 now? What? Jets are actually going to get Sam? The Giants are really going to take a running back? Can't wait. Super chat from the Bat Fella to Lane Train. I'm investigating Lane for creating a new strain of biological warfare emanating from his chin. Damn, big fella. Bat Fella calling out Neil. Looks like another criminal to add to the list. And then the big fella took matters into his own hands by putting Neil in the hole for little Joey. Unreal. More of your calls right now. Captain Chuck is on the line. Hello, Chuck.
How are you, Jake?
What's up, Captain Chuck?
Oh, my little buddy here. Henry, tranquilo, con calma. Sorry about that. I wanted to call in because I appreciate the tournament. It was fantastic. I'm reminded of my grandmother. She would sit on her chair and watch her stories, right? The soap operas. And that's how I felt with the tournament. I would like, oh my God, I'm gonna miss, Beast Breaker against this guy. It was must see TV, and I'm not kidding you. I don't set my clock by media, but I had to make it a point to see the show every day, although I missed a few. And I can't wait for next year, man. It's going to be even bigger and better. And thanks for making it happen.
Yeah, well, appreciate you tuning again, Captain Chuck. It was a lot of fun for everyone, and I think next year will be even better.
I hope so. Well, I'll let you get back. Oh, one thing about your coaching. The team will every game be very prepared. No one will prepare a team better than Coach Glenn. My only concern is day of game coaching. And I know you're big into this, Jake. We don't know how he's going to do because he's a new head coach. We know how he was stubborn as a coordinator. We know how he was as a tenacious player. Let's just see game day how he coaches. And I'll leave it at that.
Amen. I mean, we'll give it some time, but he's got to turn it around pretty quick. The honeymoon that he's been given by some Jet fans because they loved him as a player and he wants the job, all that, like that only goes so far once the games actually start. Like how he is at the press conference, like that's great when you're undefeated as the Jet coach. He's never lost yet. You know what I mean? Then you got to win games. Radical Bongos is back again. Radical, are you still excited for a 5-win season? Is that still your goal?
You know what, Jake? I owe all Jets Nation an apology. Thinking about it, it's as a fan, the least we could do is be optimistic. We don't know how this regime is going to do, and I can't just fault the guy without we haven't even started the season. So, and I made a mistake. I thought we had 5 wins last year, and I looked it up. It was 7 wins. Bozo move. Just want to apologize to all Jets Nation. We're in it together. And again, least I could do can't be a hater. We haven't even started. We can hate later, but hopefully we don't. And hopefully we win the division, get a good spot in the playoffs. But for the draft, I hope we take a lineman. It's just the safe pick. And I want to ask about is it Adrian Cisco or Aaron Cisco from the Jaguars who we picked up? How do you think he'll do? What is it?
Andre. I mean, it's a decent signing. It's a 1-year deal. He had a down year, but he was good a couple of years ago. From the area, played at Syracuse from Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's a 1-year commitment for a guy with potential upside. So I didn't hate that signing. But I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to be great. We'll find out.
Yeah, right. Why? Do you know why he had a down year last year? Was it coaching or was it an injury or it was just one of those years?
Yeah, I think they were a mess like the Jets, right? I mean, that whole coaching staff got fired. It was a disaster.
Gotcha. Well, appreciate it, Jake. Thanks for taking the call, man. And enjoy your day, man.
Radical Bongos checking in. Thank you, sir. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. gift the membership for your chance to win, and maybe you could do what Nate did. You could show up outside my apartment, and I'll hand you your present in person. Chance to win a signed Revis photo, a signed Sauce jersey, a signed Keyshawn helmet, a signed Altuve helmet, and a signed Kenny O jersey as well. Chef Kevin is on the line. What's up, Kev?
Hey Jake, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, Chef, how are you?
Hey man, another beautiful day, man. Happy about the Yankees winning yesterday. That was like a awesome catch by Bellinger, man. Like I thought he was actually gonna stumble before he even like caught the ball. It almost looked like he was tripping or something, but it was just timely or whatever. That was so important. I missed it live. I was actually at the Devils game last night. That was my first hockey game that I've been to. My son has been keeping. Yeah, first one ever, man. Yeah, nah,
it's fun, right?
Yeah, because I'm one of those people where it's like if I don't play it, it's hard for me to kind of get into it.
Mm-hmm.
So for hockey, I've always watched it. I've watched the Rangers a lot, watched the Islanders, local teams, the Devils. Always good, always entertaining, but never was able to let me spend the money and go and whatnot. And it just happened that my son, he's been like keeping on talking about wanting to see the Devils, and this is his spring break. So I'm like, you know what? Spoke to the wife. We went. We was literally 6 rows back. It was like an awesome experience. They lost, but still like entertainment value. Just being there close on the ice, knowing that the Devils are on the playoffs as well. Atmosphere was pretty good, man. But yes, it was a good time and all that. But the Yankees, man, like seeing that yesterday, it was pretty dope, man. I know Nate just said, talking about the draft stuff. I mean, we've been talking about the draft since October, man. It's like I get it, man. It's almost like we're spinning our wheels at this point or whatever. But we're on the home stretch. We're almost there. Everyone got their favorites that they want and everything like that. And then it's just for me, it's like what scenarios can happen. The trade back, I think, for us would be like really key if we could trade back and still get our guy. Just like last year, we traded back and still got Olu, which a lot of people thought Olu wouldn't be there for us to take, with Olu and Alt knowing that we needed the line. We needed the line to protect Rodgers. This year coming in, now we got 4 offensive linemen. I feel like we're good. We just need one more guy or whatever, and that'll be fine. And we could go second round, third round, pick up an offensive lineman there and feel good. And depending on where we get it, we just go D tackle for the other one, just knowing that at this point we really got to build some depth. And then it's like if we're not getting a tight end, wide receiver, offensive tackle, defensive tackle, it's like who else are we really gonna what other premium positions can we really look for and really feel good about investing time and money into? And I feel like these options, weapon and the line, that's what we gotta go for. I get, the people that talking about the tight end. I'm big favor of Warren, but I get about the premium position at the 7. It's just at this point with him being a real big difference maker and helping us out, man, with some of these read option plays, man, Fields read option with Brees, man, and then seeing him just dip out in the flats and you got Garrett over the top, there's a lot of stuff that we could really scheme up well for this offense that will really, click well if we have everything together. Brees, I get it, man. He's had some. We wanted better production out of him. At this point, man, we're not going to get too much back in a trade for him. It's a contract year for Brees. He got to step up. And for most athletes, man, in a contract year, when you're young, you're going to show out. With better coaching, with a better line, man, I really feel like Brees is the guy. Just to trade him and get a later pick, maybe a 4th or 5th rounder. Now we're just depleting our running back situation. Braylon Allen, is he good? Yes, I feel like he's good, but I really don't feel like the backup then, Isaiah Davis. I really don't feel like he showed us a lot last year to make him the clear number 2 dude. If we don't have Brees, if something happens to Allen, then it's like, all right, we're gonna feel good with this situation. I don't feel good. I don't feel like we really need to invest the time into this situation. Just keep Brees, let him play out his contract, man. See how all that goes, and just let's see how Fields does. Let's see how he cooks. He does have some wheels. The arm, we really got to see how that works out. rolling out plays and all that, and just, kind of solidifying that offensive line and just letting the defense play out. This is why we got Glenn. We got Glenn for his leadership, his defensive knowledge. Let them work together, let the offense do their thing, and let's pick up some wins, man. I was interested. I know you said it at the end. I almost feel like, Jake, when I miss like a day and a half, 2 days of your shows, I feel like I missed like a week and a half, man.
A lot happens.
It's a true testament to what you do, your grind, man, and then just the community with everybody that has to put into this, man, to make the show what it is. It's like Neil. I love Neil. Neil, he's a great call, man. I don't care what anybody says. He was in the Final Four for a reason. He's great dude and all that. But it's like him, like guinea pigs, like what what he was just talking about, drowning, and it was their fault.
You got to go watch the story yesterday. It was insane.
I missed it. Yeah, I got to go back, and then to see that Beast was a little upset or whatever. It's like, all right, well, what? Like,
hey, Gator, grab the clip of Neil telling the story, but do what you normally do and make it funny. And we'll play that. We'll use that on the show. We'll play it at the end of a show with funny clips for the future. It's so good. I mean, you see Beast's soul leaving his body in real time.
It was that bad?
Yeah, it was tough for Beast. It was. For everyone else, it was like, what is happening, Neil? What are you talking about?
So I think me and Beast were in a good place or whatever. So he just kind of showed me his hand, because I got like a guinea pig story too that didn't go well. But I'm not gonna share that just because how Beast feels. But just looking at like the animated thing where he's like riding this guinea pig or whatever, like how big is this guinea pig? Like I understand it's not big enough to carry the dude or whatever, but it's like, was he feeding him? The song that was just played right now, it was catchy, man. It's like Joey's alive, right? Like nothing happened to him.
Oh, he's alive and well. Yep.
All right, good. Yeah. That's where I'm an animal lover. We got a dog, so it's like we have a Maltipoo. It's a little 4 or 5 pound dog or whatever. So it's funny hearing Neil talking about his dog being ferocious, and when, like, Neil's just so perfect, man, for the show and his points too. Like with Sanders, like all of it, like I ain't no expert, man. I watch football just like everybody else, but it's just like Sanders with his like height and his mobility is different. Like when you're watching Vic in college at Virginia Tech, man, and just seeing how quick and elusive he was back then, and just seeing how he could turn up and really make plays, be 10, 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and then getting positive yards. Like, you don't see that with Shador. Like, is he fast? Yeah. He can move a little bit, but I'm not seeing any of this stuff where you got no blockers in front of you. You got a couple of defenders on you. He's not shaking them up and splitting up the middle. Like, he's not doing that kind of stuff. Does he have a good arm? I think it's decent. I think it's good, but I'm not seeing like rockets. I'm not seeing missiles just jumping out of his hand. And he got Hunter. Hunter is solid, man, as a wide receiver, freaking weapon, man. And they had some kind of like familiarity too with Hunter when they were over at Jackson State. So, I think that had a lot to do to help with him. But Sanders at 7, I really feel like with the Saints, with the Cowboys, man, if we could work out a deal to go back, man, I really feel like we could maybe get Will Campbell. Warren still might be available, because if you just look at the teams in between, the Saints, the Bears, the Niners, I really don't feel like they're going to go for a tight end and for their needs. I feel like they got bigger needs or whatever. So if we could work something out, man, like that would be my ideal dream situation to trade back and still get our tight end, to get an offensive or a D tackle, man. Like that would be great for us, man. But yeah, I just want to salute you, man, Jake, for that March as Maniac Madness stuff that you did, man. The committee, man, it was, just hearing about all this stuff, man, and hearing how, people are talking about it for next year, man, is just a testament to you, the committee, the community here that you built, man. Just with the amount of content, man, it was cool, man. Very entertaining, man. I guess for myself, like, I lost to the champ, man. So, I'll take that, man. Bonesy's, he's the man. He's the man. He did well. I'll be excited to hear because I won't be at the draft party. I'll be at the stadium. I'll be at the Jets draft party. We do the annual thing there, meet the players and all that kind of stuff. But to see Bonesy's speech, man, I'll definitely be looking forward to that.
Kev, great call, man. Appreciate you as always. And you came to the Nick meetup. Stay tuned for some details about a family Yankee Asmaniac game as well. Working on that post-draft party. All right. One last call here. First, a super chat. Dan says, you think we'll get the week 2 game Thursday Night Football on 9/11? I have no idea, Dan. I mean, a couple years ago, I remember the Jets played the Giants, and people thought, oh, you could put that game on 9/11 with both teams, and they didn't do it. So, who knows? If I had to guess, I'd say no. I think the Jets could open week 1, though, at home against the Steelers if Rodgers signs there on Monday Night Football. Bomber, close us out. What's up, Bomber?
What's up, Jake?
What's going on, man?
I'm chilling. Good morning, Jet pilots. Are y'all ready for next week? We're here now.
Can't get here soon enough.
I agree with you, man. Listen, I feel like everybody wants to know what's the pick, right? You know, is either Nimble, Tyler Warren. I feel the best option for us is to trade back. And I think we could acquire more picks. When you look
Easier
at the
said
facts,
than done. That's the key.
You know, like when you look at the facts, we can get possibly 4 good starters that's willing to contribute to this new era. It's a new era for us, y'all. It's our time. I believe we will get it done this year. I think we'll hit on all cylinders with the picks and holes that we need to fill for this year. So it's time.
Hey, well said. I mean, if not now, then when, right? It's only been 15 years since the playoffs. It's only been a decade since winning more than 7 games. Think about how bad that is. People talk about the playoff drought. You haven't had a winning season. You haven't even had like an 8-8 or now an 8-9. The best you've done since 2015 is 7-9 from a winning percentage standpoint with Adam Gase. 7-10 post Gase. It's pathetic. Yet we're still here. This fan base survives and somehow finds a way to keep caring and supporting and all that. This show is available in podcast form, Apple or Spotify. Spread the word to your fellow Jet fans. Maybe they listen to podcasts. They don't check out YouTube. Well, tell them to listen to the show, and then maybe they'll be like, huh, I like this show. I'll watch on YouTube now, too. Just search Jake Asman Show. Thank you to everyone. If you want to join our Discord, if you want to stay engaged with our community, join the Patreon. It gives you access to the Discord. You get bonus shows, your name added to the countdown ticker, 20% off all merch items. If you sign up for the year, you save 20% now on the entire year, and you get 10 raffle entries in whatever raffle is going on that week. This week, as you guys know, is our Jets first-round pick raffle with Revis and Keyshawn and a bunch of great prizes for the raffle this week. Thank you all for watching. I end the show with another song. The original, the OG. Here is Forbidden Furry Love.
Peacemaker 6666 runs the dark online, but his heart stirs in forbidden time. A guinea pig, small with fur of gold. His love a secret that he can't uphold. Oh, forbidden furry love. Not a mess the stars dreamt of. Through the chaos and the hate, his tiny heart is his soulmate. Oh, forbidden furry love. Not a mess the stars dreamt of. Through the chaos and the hate, his tiny heart is his soulmate. Caged in shadows, barking threats online. But in his room, love crosses the line. Tiny whiskers, little soulful eyes. A bond so pure, a love they disguise. Oh, forbidden furry love. Furry love. Not a mess the stars dreamt of.
The 27 pick in the NFL draft, the New York Jets select Dixon Hall out of Arizona State. What am I, a mind reader?